It wasn't until he saw the surveillance footage that Jack realized the woman he had kidnapped, thrown into the pool, and whipped 99 times was none other than his wife Jenny. All he had done was for the sake of avenging his first love, but he hadn't realized that his actions had cost him the woman who had deeply loved him. After being beaten nearly to death by her husband, Jenny returned home without hesitation, took off the love necklace they had once shared, canceled all her personal information, threw away her phone, and decisively left the home that once belonged to her, heading abroad. It all started a week ago, when Jenny was shocked to find out that the marriage certificate she had held for 5 years was actually forged, and her marital status was listed as single. Her husband's legitimate wife was her assistant, a woman who looked exactly like her. Jenny finally understood that the 5 years of happiness she thought they had was nothing but a huge joke. Once, they had shared a deep bond, like childhood sweethearts, and with just one call, her husband would rush abroad to find her. Jenny had still hoped that her husband had only used the stand-in as a substitute, but she never imagined that as she reached her doorstep, she overheard her husband talking to his friend. It turned out, her husband had long fallen in love with this substitute, but couldn't bear to let go of his wife, leaving her to see clearly that he had been playing both sides all along. His vows of loving only her now seemed like nothing more than a joke. She had once thought her husband kept the stand-in for some noble reason, but now she realized it had just been an excuse for his infidelity. Without a second thought, Jenny canceled her personal information, deciding that once the change took effect, she would leave her husband for good, not giving him another chance. 7 days later, Jenny was no longer in this world. When she returned home, her husband was excitedly preparing her favorite seafood, but just as he was about to serve it, he got a call from the stand-in, hurriedly claiming there was an urgent matter at work, and rushed out of the house. Jenny followed him to the stand-in's door, and learned that the stand-in had accidentally fallen while showering, and her husband had lied, saying he would be away for a few days to take care of her. At that moment, Jenny's heart turned cold. Her disappointment in her husband was beyond words.